Hey, hey, happy Friday. Happy to be back. I have a cool topic today because it came up a couple times in a couple of forums and communities that I chat in, which is always an indicator like, this might be a pretty good idea. Anyway, look, local sales is a challenge for a lot of larger firms, agencies, and freelancers alike. And I think I've cracked the nut, but I want to share what I do because I have gotten quite a few clients from this strategy. So I know it basically works. I know it's a lot of work, like everything, but sharing this I think is pretty good. I also have an AI update, a light one, and a very light struggle bus update. But first, I'll get into this how to local sales thing, right? So it's interesting as Squarespace designers, we already kind of have a niche because the platform that we're reselling is an underdog. I know that you're always selling against WordPress and to some degree Webflow, but the Webflow people are usually an entirely different breed than the WordPress people. But if you have an interest in interacting with and meeting local businesses and selling and having local customers, clients, I guess you would call them, this is what I've done. I started out by going to a bunch of meetups that are industry category. Like there was a group back in the day. I became friends with the founder of that group called the Atlanta Web Design Group. And that turned into 3 other groups and organizations. And I made 5 or 6 good friends in there. And it led to a bunch of other opportunities. So even category events and meetups, and I think I found it on meetup.com, like they do lead to other opportunities. So expanding your network, even in your category, is a really great way to get referrals in the future when somebody gets something that comes to them and they can't help. They're going to call you. Oh, I don't do Squarespace, but I know somebody who does. And that obviously converts to any platform. So it doesn't really matter. The point being, don't sleep on design or your industry category themed meetups. There are great folks in there, great opportunity to learn, especially if you're younger, rapidly develop that networking muscle and that sales muscle and learn about tools and tricks and tips and all that stuff from other people in your community that do what you do. That's a referral strategy, though. That's not really a sales strategy. The best thing I've done in a long time from a localized standpoint is join a business association. I'm a member of a local business association. It's like $100 a year. And the luncheons, they do a monthly luncheon. It's $20. And it's 50 or so local business owners in all kinds of categories. Most of them already have websites, but they get to know you, like you, trust you. And then eventually something goes wrong with their current engagement and they think of you. That's the slow ride, but it is definitely effective because you're showing up honestly, being yourself, being helpful when they have questions, being helpful when there's categorical conversation or subject matter that you can contribute to. Another thing I've done, before I move on, I also want to say I liked that community a lot and I felt like I had a lot to contribute. So the local business association, last year I joined the board. And this year I'm on the board again. And being on the board helps me shape the community of business owners, and it helps me connect them, and it gives me access to people in the community that I would not normally have had access to, that have done things like helped incorporate the city that I live in. And I've met the mayor, and I've probably met 100 maybe more business owners in my city. And that's valuable. The next thing I've done is contribute like on a local board. So there are lots of boards you can participate in. One for big events. There's a huge festival in my city that has 3 stages with bands and DJs, and there's vendors up and down the streets, and it's awesome. Probably 5,000 or 6,000 people go every May to this really awesome festival. So by basically volunteering, by contributing a website, almost pro bono, basically doing the website at cost, and collaborating and contributing, donating to this cause, to this great event that I love locally, you get put on the board, kind of get drafted on the board. You also get a sponsorship, which thousands of local business owners and people see, which is amazing. It gets your brand out there. It's not active advertising, but it's not nothing. And it's an incredibly good networking opportunity because everybody else on the board probably owns or runs a local business because they're usually mature folks like me. So really, really fantastic networking opportunity and exposure opportunity that doesn't cost much, and you get to meet great people. The next one would be local organizations, like joining the board for local social organizations. Social clubs can be okay. I am on the board for a pool in my neighborhood. It's a pretty big pool. It probably has 130 members, family members, like households. So it's not a small organization by any means, but being able to participate and contribute and volunteer for that community, I get to network with lots of people locally who are leaders in some business somewhere, or they own the business somewhere because they have kids that need to go to the pool. You got to put them somewhere in the summer days when mom just doesn't have that extra gear. The pool is amazing. And we introduce all kinds of things like local business sponsorships. So my logo's up there with all the local restaurants and pizza and artists and whatever. It's like there are pool repair, there are landscaping companies. So by selling business sponsorships at the pool, we're able to get a bunch of local logos and participants from the local business community in that community. And that has done a lot to create introductions to business owners in the community. Like literally being on the board of the pool, I've probably met 50 business owners. So when you put the festival day and the pool board and the business association board all together, yes, it's a few meetings a month, and there is work to be done to support and follow through with commitments. But fortunately, I'm on Squarespace. It's not a shit ton of work, if I'm being honest. Like, this is almost like an unfair advantage that we have because spinning up a WordPress site or customizing a Webflow website for these little organizations, it's not worth the effort usually. It takes a ton of time to fix. And the next one would be donate. So I do try to do a pro bono website for a local business or a local charitable organization every single year. Last year, I helped a Rotary Club. The town's Rotary Club is small and fledgling. So I know Rotary is a huge organization, and they're not completely void of cash. But this group was in a tough spot, and I was like, look, half of the board members on the Rotary Club are also on the board for the business association. So let me just jump in, build some goodwill, help them for nothing, and deepen those relationships. And to be honest, that has made my phone ring a couple of times. So I think the return on that investment of my time was pretty solid. They paid for the hosting, for the Squarespace account. It's just really my time. So built some great relationships with that, and still going. There are other groups, some I'm on the fence about, or I'll say on the fence with. They are BNI is Business Networking International, I think is the name of that. It's an acronym, right? So BNI is a little more formal. It's structured. They score the club based on how much business referral and what the value of those referrals is. That level of formality turns me off a little bit, and it's hard for me to compete because I'm not selling $10,000 roofing projects or huge plumbing redos or moving electrical boxes from one side of the house to another for 18 grand. I'm making Squarespace websites, and most businesses typically only pay 5 or 10 grand for those things, tops. So I don't feel like I can contribute to that, even though there are legit businesses in there. I think that that level of formality I don't love. And I'll say the same thing about Toastmasters Internet. Is it Toastmasters International? Toastmasters, which is like a club for practicing public speaking. Not all business owners in there, but everyone is going to be local. And not only do you get better at public speaking, if that is a challenge for you, so highly recommend it. I went to one of their meetings last year, maybe the year before. It's been a while. I thought it was a lot of fun and packed with really great folks. But I didn't feel like the networking opportunity was going to be valuable enough because some people wait tables. Like, they're not a potential lead for me. Not that everybody in every group has to be a potential lead, but there is definitely a ratio where there's a return on that time that you're putting in that, you want most of the people to be in leadership at least, if not the owners. And then there are speed networking groups. I've gone to a couple of those. They're a ton of fun. There's usually beer or wine involved and hors d'oeuvres. Just met some really incredible people. I think I got a dozen Facebook friends out of it. And I don't think much has shaken out. A couple of conversations have shaken out of having gone to those. But nobody has signed on the dotted line. Not that that's the only, score of quality here, but I do think that doing those things regularly probably does net out to a few solid relationships. I've seen it, but customers, I'm on the fence about it. Another one, and boy, it seems like a lot of local businesses like Alignable, and I have an Alignable page. Alignable has done almost nothing of value, and my guess is it's something you have to put a lot of effort in to extract the value. I assume the value is there. It looks like it's there. They have millions of people. But if that's the case, if it requires a ton of effort, then to me, that's a channel. I would pick that or LinkedIn. Like if I was leaning into local, maybe local only, Alignable is probably even better than LinkedIn because there isn't a lot of non-geo-specific noise in content. Probably better than YouTube for that. I'm leaning into YouTube, duh. And I don't see Alignable as being something that is anything other than just passively accepting a friend request once a month. And having gone on the calls, I think I joined 4 calls about 2 years ago, maybe a couple last year too, with Alignable groups. And there's specific groups like QuickBooks how-tos and design community stuff and groups that are in there. And what I found is that everybody just wants to pitch. Nobody's there to listen, which was kind of gross, if I'm being honest. So if you're local only, don't sleep on Alignable. But if you're not local only, you probably want to pass on Alignable. At least that's the gist I've gotten out of it. Your mileage may vary. Meetup is still a thing, and there are a lot of groups on Meetup, and the quality of people locally that go to these Meetup events is really high. You can do some serious networking there, like I mentioned, having gone to web design specific groups. But there are other groups too. So if, like I mentioned a minute ago with Toastmasters, if you're not looking for an incredibly high ratio of business owners for the total group or the people in attendance, then general meetups around just topics of interest to you, look, there are business leaders and owners in those groups too. So whatever it is, if they know somebody that has a website, everybody knows somebody that has a website. So if you become the friend that does the website stuff, there's a referral in there somewhere. But that is a longer road. That is a long road to hoe. So I really hope that the subject matter is important to you. And bonus tip. And I haven't done this one, but I'm dying to do it. Maybe I'll actually get off the pot and take care of this one, is have a t-shirt or a hat or both printed that's like, I make websites. Just the website guy or the website girl, or I make websites, whatever. And wear it locally around town. Wear it to the events that you go to. What a amazing conversation starter that would be. Is it cheesy? Maybe. Is it a little on the nose? Probably. Will it sell you a website? Probably. Honestly, it will probably sell a web deal. You'll get a contract out of it. That's my assumption, that there's a contract waiting just because you're wearing that t-shirt, going to these events, is itself my motivation to get it done. I don't want to do 20 of them, though, 10 of them. Like, maybe let's go to a local print shop and give them a graphic and have them put it on. It's going to be like that vinyl, though, and it shrinks and gets all bubbly. But I'll solve that problem later. So anyway, that's how I execute locally. That's my local strategy. Join a local business association group, volunteer to help out for major events, festivals locally. What an incredible opportunity. And join local boards for organizations that need guidance and leadership, and they're just looking for anyone to help. Another one I didn't really mention. Well, I won't get into it. I was going to say there are other groups, like specialty groups, like church groups and theater groups and things like that. But I think that both of those fall into like that special interest category. All right. I'm going to talk AI. We are, timestamp this. We are, what's it say? 17:51. All right. Hitting 18 minutes. And I've taken a break with my favorite AI tools the last few days. Starting to feel overwhelmed. Like there's too many of them. And maybe I'm just having the paradox of choice type of scenario going on, but I'm really enjoying Get Known. That doesn't change. It's very productive. It's also very ChatGPT at times, and I'm like, oh my God, I would never say that, because tone of voice is just not ChatGPT's specialty. There is Claude in there too, and it's better at that. The other one would be Kin. I've slowed my Kin usage. I'm going to go back in, though. I think I haven't figured out, I think what happened is there's like a juxtaposition. I hope that's the right word, where there's a lot of overlap now in what I would bring to the app. So I'm kind of like, well, where do I chat about this? Which one am I going to use? So I may just lean more into one and pull the journaling and the personal stuff into one, or pull the business stuff into the other. Although Kin is not really an artifacts platform. It's not going to generate outputs that are like files. And I feel like Get Known is just too big for rah-rah coaching stuff. Like if you've ever used Pi, Kin is kind of like Pi, but deeper and more specific and localized and more private. So that's like AI plus struggle bus. How's that? How about if we just leave that at that. I didn't expect that to come out that way. So, kind of tired today. Again, didn't sleep well. I don't know what the hell's going on. Dude, I'm telling you, like, tonight's my night. Tonight's my night. Oh, I know what I'm struggling with more. Things got really busy this week. Well, really the last 2 weeks. Oh my God, the work tree is just dropping fruit all over me right now, which is good. Good problem to have. Now I'm like time management issues. That revenue, not quite realized yet, but hopefully soon, obviously. And good challenges to have. Can we just chalk it up as that? I think so. All right, so we're at 20 minutes. Sorry I kept you this long. Look, you're a trooper. I can't believe you're watching this. No, I don't know that anybody's watched a single video 20 minutes in. So if this is happening right now, me and you, I think this makes us friends. I'm pretty sure this makes us friends. All right, I'm going to bail. Have a great weekend. I'm going to do a thumbnail moment. Local, what should I do for local strategy? Like, no, that's a loser. Can't do that. I'm at a loss here, dude. How about this? Yeah, that'll work. I'll screen capture that and I'll put right behind my head. You see my thumbnails, right? I put the text behind my head where I go, local strategy. Something like that. Yeah, that'll work. Totally. All right. Have a great weekend. I will see you Monday, hopefully. If not, you know what? Have a great weekend anyway. Just leave it at that, period. Have a great weekend.